Hello, everybody. Dr. Lonnie Stewart here from the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Are you a physical therapy student about to start studying for the National Physical Therapy Examination? Or maybe you're a professor, a program director, or clinical instructor who teaches DPT students preparing for the NPTE? Either way, we would recommend checking out our sponsor, NPTE Final Frontier, and the community they've built around preparing for and succeeding on the NPTE. That exam and the preparation that goes along with it can be long, tedious, difficult, and stress inducing, but it doesn't have to be. NPTE Final Frontier has the tactics and resources to help address all of the usual barriers. They even have scholarships to help with NPTE study courses, FSBPT registration fees, and even research opportunities. And if that's not enough, they're even donating to the very first annual HET Podcast Scholarship to be awarded at the end of every year. Go to npteff.com for all of the details and use code HET for 10% off all purchases. Links to both the NPTE Final Frontier and their scholarship options are available in the show notes. And now, let's get ready to learn.
Hello, everybody. Dr. F. Scott Feil here with another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode. This is the fourth out of four in a session that we called preparation. And this is an interesting one because it's actually not pre-pairing, it's post-pairing. But it's how to put things together and prepare yourself after a class, right? After each session. And I think the big ones for me, the big takeaways are to jot down some brief notes on how the session went, right? Take 5 minutes to just note what worked, what didn't, as well as any new ideas that occurred to you while teaching. Include these notes in your lecture notes or lesson plans so that they'll be readily accessible when you're preparing for the next class or session or teaching the same course again. If you wait till the end of the semester to reflect on how the entire course went, you'll probably have forgotten specific details that were helpful to you later. So try to take notes as you go after each class session. You also want to make any necessary adjustments to your plan for the next class session. For example, if you need to clarify or review any material from the session that just ended, jot a little note down and let yourself know, hey, we're going to need a little more time to go over this, right? Do you need to start at a different point than where you had anticipated? Did you get further down the line or not cover as much material as you needed? You may have to then adjust and make changes in the way that you presented the material this last class to make sure you have enough time to present everything next class, right? Is there anything you can do to improve student participation, right? That's a big question I always ask myself. How could I have got them to be more engaged? How could I have gotten my students to, do more active learning and critically think? And then anticipate questions that students may ask in office hours or review sessions, right? Or any subsequent classes. You want to prepare answers as well, right? Don't just stick to the material. Go back to your life experiences. Tell them things you've seen, things that may help connect the dots for them, right? Take a step back and consider why this material is important, right? What difficulties might a novice learner have with it? And how might you explain it in different ways that appeal to those different learning preferences and styles, like visual versus verbal, right? Pictures, hands-on, that kind of stuff. So hope this helped. One of the big things I've always taken away from one of my heroes, Gail Jensen, is that the difference between a novice, whether it be a learner or a clinician, and an expert learner and clinician is reflection. So taking the time after a class to go back and reflect on really what worked and what didn't is going to be the best thing you can do to get better at teaching the same content and the same stuff that you teach over and over and over again. Otherwise, you're just sitting there and lecturing the same thing over and over and over. You're not getting better. You're not helping, the cause. You're not helping your students. So consider that. Hope that was a helpful 4-part series in preparation. And we'll see you on the next one.
Well, I hope that episode was entertaining as much as it was informational and educational. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our past episodes, we ask you to please subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. And please share out the episodes to those who you feel may be able to benefit from them. We also urge you to follow us on all social media platforms at HET Podcast and let us know what topics or experts you would like to hear from in future episodes. And just as a reminder, none of the information on today's show should be considered medical advice. It's simply infotainment or edutainment to help educate our audience. For medical advice, we always advise you to reach out to your preferred medical professionals. and we'll see you on the next show.